everyone. Hope you're well. This is OnlyFans Chatters for Dummies. Now, I say dummies, I mean people that don't really know. At the end of the day, chatting is a skill, and building a chatting team that you can trust and will do well for you is a skill in itself. At the end of the day, it takes time. You've got to be able to chat yourself, and you got to know your own niche or model kind of category in that sense. So what are chatters, and how do I get the best chatting team? And I say team as I'll explain later. Chatters are employees that will chat on the model's behalf and sell content to make money. Simple as that, right? No. Finding chatters that work and know what to do is one of the hardest things possible. And having a structure and making sure you have a good team is a key to this. So what I mean by this is, firstly, I've probably hired and fired over 200 people in a space of a year and a half. Honestly, when I first started doing OnlyFans, obviously I told you, like before, you should be doing the chatting at least for a month, couple months, just so you can understand the game and what you're getting into. Because at the end of the day, it's the most detrimental thing for your mental health. But at the end of the day, you can actually understand what chatters are supposed to do, how you should sell, and how to be successful. Because if you can't chat, majority of the time, you ain't going to be able to teach anyone how to do the chatting. Now, a lot of people, a guy called Yala Papi, he even says he never chatted before, and he has a successful team. So it's not necessary, but you've got to have some sort of common sense to the game. So one thing I would say is make sure you build a team, because when you are on your ones and you have another chatter, you only have two people. It's 24 hours in a day. Simple maths. Can I make it easy as possible? 3 people in the day doing 8-hour shifts. Simple. Obviously, people can't work 7 days a week, so give them a day off. Have an extra chatter that do a rotation schedule. Simple as basically ABC. Where do I find chatters? There are multiple ways to find chatters. There are the sites. There are basically different sites, but each of them have different types of chatters. OFM Jobs, Upwork, Telegram, PH Jobs, and even Reddit is where you can find chatters. OFM Jobs are probably people that obviously are actually looking to find OnlyFans jobs, which is sometimes good, but sometimes bad, because you have to remember a lot of Filipinos are going to be looking for that. You got a lot of Africans that are going to be looking at that, and because they know they can make good commission, because at the end of the day, that's how a lot of chatters are paid. I pay my chatters a decent rate, a competitive rate, and I pay them a commission with bonuses and competitions each day. Competitions and bonuses obviously allow for your chatters to compete against each other, but also gives them a target for them to reach so they can get extra money. And obviously, when they make extra money, you're making extra money, and that model is making extra money. So that's literally it. Upwork most likely it's quite hard. So you can't really be straightforward with Upwork, but most likely if you just say, hey, it's a social media sales job, you will find people that kind of understand what that means, and therefore you will get actual people that want to become a chatter. That's actually one of the first things I actually used to get chatters. I actually had the Turkish girl. I remember that was one of my first. I think that was my first ever chatter. Absolutely terrible, but it was a funny game and funny lesson to learn that, hey, it's going to be harder than you think. Telegram, you need to be in know. You need to find certain Telegram groups that have people that apply for jobs. PH Jobs, which is a Filipino kind of a market for basically like an Indeed for UK, and that will allow you to find Filipinos that want to do jobs for anything from social media marketing all the way to OnlyFans chatter. And then obviously Reddit, there are forums or subreddits where people are applying for jobs. Have a process of elimination. At the end of the day, you can't just hire and expect people to work. Make sure you have a process of elimination. You have 3 stages at least. Even have, like, if you're going to make a Google Sheets or a Google kind of like a poll thing, or not poll thing, what is it called? A Google Sheet, you know what I mean? That allows people to apply for jobs. Make sure you have a certain thing that you can see that if they've read it properly, they will do it, like a 111 or a 243. They have to type in before they type, because if they don't type it, then you know this person is not a key person of detail. How do I train these chatters? Training is important, obviously. Remember when I said in the last video, and even said now, you need to do chatting to understand the game. This is what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, you need to train them to be chatters in your niche, your category of model. If they're chatting like a guy from London, but their model is a Spanish girl from, or a Argentinian girl from South America, this ain't gonna work. And I've literally seen some of my friends when they first started out, literally talking in London slang, chatting, and I'm just laughing in their face because they're literally saying blood. I say less to a guy that's trying to get horny and jerk off to a woman or like whatever they had. So you've got to make sure you make sense and actually understand what you're trying to do. You need to have some sort of kind of niche and understand what model your category or what category your model's in. I think, like I said, that's very key. And have a schedule of trainings and processes once you have a team and train them and have a meeting with them every week. Actually show that you care and like train them to be the best they can be. What do you need to look into to be successful with chatters? You need to look to build a team that you can trust. At the end of the day, like if you can build at least or have a couple of people that you can trust at the beginning, they know they're just there to work and you pay them well, they're going to be by your side. Especially for me, I like a lot of Filipino chatters. For me, they're really kind people, decent people, and hardworking people to a point. And you got to make sure that you keep them in line. However, they do work well and they are very nice people and they should understand. Sometimes the English barrier is not that good, but if you find the right chatter and if you find the right employees that you can trust, they're some of the best employees I will ever say for you to have. Obviously, you can have South Americans, but hey, I would never hire no Africans. I can't lie to you. The Africans I have hired have tried to scam me, have not even worked. Like it's just shit. Like, and even then, you have like people that act like model on Instagram, and they're like Nigerians behind the thing. And I've literally had that done to me one time. But obviously, it's up to you. My kind of formula. I have 4 chatters for every 2 models, so I have 2 models per 4 chatters, and they should be able to do that. If anyone can't do that, they're not really a good chatter, to be honest. It's a setup I know it works. In contrast, some people have like fucking 3 chatters, 2 chatters on 2 12-hour shifts, which is just slave labor. Like at the end of the day, treat your employees with respect, pay on time, and understand they're human. So imagine you're in that situation. For me, that's how I've worked it. Obviously, as a boss, you have to learn how to treat people. And I think if you can't treat people or treat employees that are making you money well, you're never going to be successful. And I've literally seen guys that haven't paid their employees and it's come back to bite them in the ass. So at the end of the day, always treat your people well. And as long as you treat them well, they will treat you well and hopefully work as hard as they can for you. Understand that people do make mistakes, however, but when you're in the beginning of hiring, be cutthroat, because if you're not cutthroat and they're making mistakes at the beginning, they're never going to be good, in my opinion. And that's just how it is. One thing I'll say at the end, set up a Discord. Discord for your whole agency is a key. And for me, I think it's very good that you have a Discord. Don't just have a WhatsApp group chat. You can start off with that at the beginning, but if you want to actually build an organization, not just like some side hustle, set up a group chat, set up a Discord, and have yourself talking there. When you do set up a Discord, try and have it in certain sections, make it as organized as possible, and I promise you, you'll do well. My key tip for this is find at least one chatter you trust and speak to them every day. Make sure they're on point, treat them well. Potentially, they can become your director, who will basically be like your assistant and look after everything for you in the future. So yeah, that was how to do OnlyFans for Dummies. I hope you guys liked this video, and follow my Telegram if you need anything else and ask me any questions. I'm here to stay. I've been doing this for a couple of years, so I know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I really do hope you guys do well.